Hello, beautiful alchemist. Happy August. I'm actually recording this on the full moon in Aquarius on July 29th. A few days early, but happy birthday to all of the beautiful Leos out there. We are so lucky to be able to learn from this bold, bright energy during this season, all of us. So, I am at this time of recording preparing to travel. um, I am really looking forward to what is discovered for all of you in this energy this month. I just finished doing readings for the Energetic Alchemist app. I um, do weekly collective readings that are free on the app that you can access right now if you like. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play for Androids and you can type in The Energetic Alchemist and download the app. If you want to do the membership on the app, you can do a monthly subscription where you get access to more content, including weekly readings by each sign. And that just gives you a clearer picture of your overall energetic profile. But just by being on the app, you get access to other content and the collective weekly reading. So I bring that up because one, I hope you have the app, but also because the energies that were coming through as we are ending July, moving into August, was really about us acclimating to new frequencies. And this will look like something different for all of us. But I have the sense that a lot of you are probably feeling very deeply, very clear in your awareness that something is shifting and changing, whether it's in your external lived experience or you can just tell that something is changing and emerging within you. And for a lot of us, this may feel like aligning to or acclimating to a frequency of embodiment that feels more aligned and more resonant with how we want to show up, how we want to be seen, how we want to be known. Perhaps you're receiving downloads and inspirations to follow a new path or to expand on the path that you're on. For some of you, you may be getting some clarity around finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for what you have been pouring into for some time. And others, you may get some clarity that helps you pivot a bit to come more clearly into right alignment with the frequency of what it is that you are coming into relationship in a new or different way. So, again, if you have the app, you can watch the weekly collective reading every week. And you also have the option of accessing more content. In addition to that, on the app, what is brand new is finding out your Oracle superpower. So, some of you know, or if you haven't heard yet, I am starting Alchemy of the Oracle again this year. I'm very excited. I taught this class only once back in 2022 when the deck was first launched. And it's a 22-week course, which is why I haven't taught it in all of these years. I haven't had time, but it's an incredible class. You can learn more about it on the app. So it's actually two parts. The first part is called Alchemy of the Seeker, which is very foundational in becoming an oracle reader and working with the deck. The second half, the advanced half of the class, is called Alchemy of the Oracle. Alchemy of the Oracle includes Alchemy of the Seeker. So you can either do one, you could just do the Alchemy of the Seeker, or you can do the entire class, which is Alchemy of the Oracle. So, in celebration of this course coming around again, I wanted to create a free assessment for you so you could find out what your Oracle Reader archetype is. This could bring a lot of clarity to those of you who already work with cards to have some understanding of what your inclinations are as a reader instead of trying to force yourself in reading in ways that don't really feel aligned to you. And if you're curious about how to develop your own way of reading Oracle, finding out your archetype can also give you some inspirations of things to play with, experiment with, try out, and see how that lands for you. So, again, that is available on the app under the T Oracle section, and it is free. Just as a side note to that, the registration for the Alchemy Circle, my favorite program, Every year I've been doing the Alchemy Circle since 2020. It's a year-long online mentoring collective, and we meet twice a week, every week for an entire year. So the registration for the 2027 cohort begins in December of this year because people who are members will also have automatic enrollment and access to Alchemy of the Seeker, the foundational portion of the Oracle class. The reason is because next year, 2027, is a universal year 11, which is the year of the Oracle. It reduces to the number 2. You can read more about that on my app, but next year there will be a lot of focus on the development of intuition along with other energetic practices. Of course, we have an entire year together. I can't even begin to tell you how much we explore every year in the Alchemy Circle. Right now, we are focused on frequency, which has been a lot of fun. So, on top of all of that, just to give you a little bit of news, I have been traveling back and forth recently between San Diego and DC, and it's been a very busy time. But one of the things I've been working on that I have been so passionate about, excited about for years, but never really made the time to develop it or write it, is my first book as it relates to this work. Not one of the books that you get in one of my courses, but a book that will be available to all of you. So, right now, I am in the final stages of editing, and I will let you know when it is available. I cannot wait to share this book with you. Um, I just got a copy of the draft just the other day, just to get a little peek of what it may look like. But again, I will keep you posted, and I really, truly cannot wait to share this with you. Um, let's see, anything else been going on over here? My travels and what is going on um, within my family is in part why I haven't been as active with the podcast lately. So if you've been wondering where I've been, why the episodes haven't been consistent weekly, that's because of the amount of traveling that has been going on right now. So I appreciate your patience with me. I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you that have been listening to Reiki Radio for years, to those of you who are new to the community and who reach out and let me know how you found Reiki Radio. I really deeply appreciate all of it. And I just want to say thank you and welcome. And I will be more regularly active, uh, hopefully sometime soon. So, the last piece of information I want to give you before we get into the monthly updates for August is it is almost time for conference season. Yes, it's a whole season of conferences, and you should attend all of them if you can. So let's see, we are in the month of August. The end of this month, there is a local event being put on here in Southern California through Awakened Magazine. They have an expo of sorts that is, pretty big in size. They have an incredible turnout. They have a lot of guest speakers. I believe they have Daryl Anka, the man that channels Bashar. He may be one of the contributors this year, I believe. But anyway, that takes place in Costa Mesa at the end of August, and you can look that up. I may even put the link for it in my newsletter. Then in September, I am so excited and I really hope you join us. If you were there last year, you know how much fun it was. And if you weren't, you don't want to miss it this year. But it is our second annual Awakening Conference that is hosted by me and all of the beautiful women of Awakening Airwaves. And so it is a 3-day conference that we host live on Zoom over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in September. I believe this year it's the 18th through the 20th. And every day, each of those 3 days, you get 3 master classes by one of the hosts of our podcasts. And so there are 9 master classes total. It is so much fun. It was incredible last year. I mean, it blew our mind how wonderful it was to be able to interact with all of you live and chat in the chat box and all of these things. So this year we have created a private Facebook group for those of you attending. If you attended last year or if you are attending this year, there is a link to join the private Facebook group in the course itself. And this will be a space where you can chat with each other ongoing, even beyond the event. So while the event is happening, you can chat with us in Zoom. You can chat with each other also in the Facebook group. And when the event is over, we can keep those conversations going. You can ask questions about what it is that you got to practice and learn from the contributors in the event. So we think that will help with the overall experience this year as well. And we cannot wait to share the space with you. The link for that will be below this video, wherever you're watching it, but also in my newsletter. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter at theenergeticalchemist.com. You get access to more free content and you always know what is upcoming. You don't miss out on anything. So that happens in September. And we're also going to have a raffle. You have a chance to win some free prizes. One of them will be a copy of my deck. If my book is available by then, there will also be the opportunity to win a free copy of that. But I don't know if it'll be ready by then. So I can only guarantee the deck as one of the free gifts. Um, you will be included in a raffle to hopefully be one of the winners. And there are also beautiful offerings, other kind of giveaways, prizes, offerings from the other contributors. So just come to the event. If you can't attend live, as a participant, as a registrant, you have access to all of the recordings. So you can always go back, watch later on your own time. But I have to tell you, it is a lot of fun coming live. So put it on your calendar. So that's in September. And then in October, one of the beautiful, two actually, two of the beautiful podcast hosts on Awakening Airwaves, Ia Ifanlayo and Lainey Wu, they are both co founders of the Melanated Reiki Healers Collective. And they have their own conference that happens in October. So if you are connected with them, you may want to check out the information that they're sharing about that. And then in November is when we have the annual Reiki Raise Global Healing Summit, which I know a lot of you have attended. If you haven't before, that's another one, of course, you don't want to miss. And I have the pleasure of co hosting again this year. This year, I will be co hosting with Natalie of Dive Into Reiki. So many beautiful events to attend. They are all incredibly affordable, and the content is so rich. And some of these conferences, you do have access to the recording. So, again, you can go back and re listen and study and practice again. I will have the links to all of them except for the Reiki Raise because we don't have the links to register for that yet. But once we do, I will share that with you. But for now, I will have the link below for the Awakening Conference that happens in September. And I cannot wait to see you. Alrighty. And then December, we start Alchemy of the Seeker. We start Oracle School. Okay, so August, Leo season. I have already said happy birthday to the beautiful Leos. As we are in this season, we actually just moved out of Cancer season, which is this energy of cardinal water. It is the sign of the archetypal mother. It is the sign that invited us in to sit with and acknowledge our own emotions, our inner landscape of home, being at home with ourselves, being at home with our family, our external environment. Whatever comes up around those themes, that's what that season was really inviting us to have a relationship to, heighten examination around. and anything that had to do with home, family, and very intuitive, I would say, recognition of how things may have been coming through for us intuitively in that season. Now in Leo, the baton is passed to fixed fire. And so this is where we had an opportunity to honor our emotions, our feelings, the the inner textures of ourselves that maybe we don't always show, but that is very important for us to come into right resonance with, to harmonize within ourselves, to accept and love and have compassion with and forgive and all of these beautiful qualities. And part of that, including our connection to family, whether by blood or chosen, our community that feels like home and family, these things pour into the development of standing very firm and confident in who we are and having that clarity of connection between our heart, mind, intelligence, so that then when Leo presents the sun for us, we can stand more boldly, more proudly in the intelligence of our passions, our creative natures, and be willing to be seen and known maybe more than we have been before, and making more room, having more capacity to allow ourselves to explore our gifts, our talents, our creative nature. So, this is the energy that we're being welcomed into at the beginning of August. And then Leo will pass the baton on to Virgo. We'll talk more about Virgo next month. But essentially, we go from, really bathing in the cultivation of our passion, our creativity, our visibility, all of these things. And then Virgo will come in as mutable earth and say, is there any kind of um, adjustments that need to be made here? Or is there anything we need to ground a little bit and clarify and determine what will be most useful, what is most beneficial, what will make this most practical, this illumination and sharing of yourself. And while you're at it, have some consideration for your wellness, your day-to-day routines, and all of these other themes. So we'll talk about that next month with more detail. But with the two, Leo and Virgo, what came to mind is this month being really an illumination of our creative plans. So, where Leo will invite us into the creativity, Virgo will then invite us into the planning, the structure around these creative inspirations and insights and embodiments that we start to come into resonance with or recognize within ourselves. So, interestingly, the card of the month I don't have right in front of me because I packed it. I take cards with me because I have to do readings for the app even while I'm traveling. But it is the dragon card. So if you have the Energetic Alchemist Oracle deck, the dragon card, which is number 8 in the um, uh, major expressions section of the deck, it is the image of the dragon and the man facing each other. So in this card, it's really, you are the expressions of both. You are the fierce dragon, and you're also the man who is standing with the sun illuminating behind his head, symbolizing wisdom. And he's standing with his heart open and his hands behind his back with a dagger on his hip. And while he could confront the dragon who looks so fierce, he doesn't. Instead, he honors that expression within himself, the part of him that may be inclined to function in ego, from fear, from doubt, from worry. He understands that that aspect of himself doesn't really mean to harm him, but rather believes that it is protecting him in some way. And so he stands boldly, heart open, facing this aspect of himself to allow the initiation of alchemy, to witness this aspect of his fears, doubts, worries, pains, ego, whatever we want to call it, with love and compassion, and without criticizing, just really acknowledging what is so that those two energies, his higher self and his ego, his lower nature even, can merge and unify. That's what this energy invites us to recognize and understand within ourselves. So, that is the teacher of the month. And again, if you have the deck, I recommend meditating on that card, looking at the imagery, seeing what other insights flow through to you, any messaging. But you can also look at the guidebook that comes with the deck and read what the definition of the card is, so to speak, just to see if even if that speaks to you in any way. But it is a reminder that we are all dancing between our wisdom and our ego, and it's an invitation to be more wise, consciously participating and engaging with every aspect of our expressions, and to be productive with our power, to understand our relationship to even what that means to be empowered, recognizing that power doesn't always have to be force like the dragon, but rather there's a lot of power in the wisdom of stillness and love, as shown by example by the man in the image. So if you do get any messages from that card, please email me, let me know. I love hearing, or you can go on the app. You can message me in the app as well. I love hearing what you all get from the deck. I love hearing that. And if you work with the deck and you tag me on Instagram, the image or the message about your readings and these sorts of things, I always reshare them because I really do like to see how the cards are alive in the world and in your hands. So, we do have a few events coming up this month that I am going to point out. Of course, I'm not pointing out every single astrological event, but if you do want to know about the astrology of the month in more detail, I do recommend going to Awakening Airwaves on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube, and you can watch the um, August astrology forecast presented by Erin. She is our resident astrologer. And there are other shows on there that have a beautiful array of information and insight to support you in your personal path and practice, as well as the space that you may hold for others. So definitely go check out Awakening Airwaves. So the first thing that I'm going to note in terms of August is on August 3rd, we have Cryon going retrograde in Taurus, and this represents the wounded healer. But with it being in the sign of Taurus, it'll have more Taurian type of themes. So this could be really acknowledging, witnessing any wounds that we have, any healing that is available to us that we may be finally ready to witness, to address, to deal with, to come into, again, clear relationship with around our self worth, what it is that we value, our financial security, any core wounds around these types of themes. Don't be surprised if it comes into your awareness, but also recognizing it's coming up for the benefit of allowing and initiating healing, and to potentially understand these aspects and stories that you've carried for some time, where they originate from and how they may be influencing the decisions and your function and how you create even now. So it's always beautiful to just acknowledge what our own projections and the stories that we hold may be, because then again it gives us an opportunity to initiate transformation, seeing, knowing, understanding in higher ways, being more forgiving, more compassionate, more understanding about ourselves, so that we can then make room to embody more of our confidence and embody more of what we actually value, and accept more of, whatever a healthy relationship would be to what makes us feel a sense of stability, security. Again, all of these themes around Taurus. Now, One of the things that a lot of you are familiar with, it happens annually. We have the Lionsgate portal, which actually opens at the end of July. I can't remember if it began July 27th, 28th, somewhere around there, but it goes until the Lionsgate portal ends on August 12th. But the peak of the portal is August 8th on 8/8, the Lionsgate portal. And it is the time of year, again, it's an annual event where the alignment of Earth, Sirius, and Orion's belt are all in the sign of Leo. And it's considered, Sirius is considered the spiritual sun. And there's beliefs from ancient times around this alignment really being about awakening. That there are these transmissions, we could say, of universal consciousness that we are in relationship with, and the power, the frequency of this alignment really speaks to our own encoding, our own relationship to all there is. But it's considered like a spiritual activation of sorts. It is a time that is rich with energy that a lot of people associate with wealth, good fortune, creativity. And again, underneath all of that is some type of spiritual activation that meets us where we are. And there's a whole we'll say mythology around all of this with the two lions at the portal of the Lion's Gate, which I've spoken about in previous years on Reiki Radio. But this year, I wanted to tell you about an invitation that was extended by someone I recently interviewed. Her name is Kelly Kolodny. Many of you may know her. She channels Archangel Raphael, and she is hosting an event on August 8th for the peak of the Lionsgate portal. And you can find the link to that either below this video or in my newsletter or in the show description of that episode on Reiki Radio. But it sounds like a pretty incredible event. And I know that a lot of you listening like to do very intentional work when we have these types of universal expressions, when we have these cosmic expressions, these alignments within the planets and the stars. So there's an opportunity for that. Then on August 10th, we have Venus and Pluto in a trine, as well as Venus and Neptune in an opposition. And so basically, this energy, the reason I wanted to bring it up is because it has this magnetic essence to it. So a lot of us may be feeling in this energy something that feels kind of magnetizing, magnetic. You may feel drawn to certain ideas, experiences, expressions, people, but there also may be an ease and a flow in this energy, or some kind of activation where you feel, again, very bold in this Leo energy, where you feel the illumination, the feeling, the frequency of whatever it is you may be passionate about, or what you're finally willing to be visible about, seen as, and in connection with. But a lot of people in this type of energy, there's an activation commonly of creative inspirations really flowing in a, I want to say, not just a palpable way, but in a way that we're consciously aware of. And it is said to give us the courage to also release what no longer serves us. So remember, when we are coming into right alignment or coming into frequency with what is meeting us or inviting us to evolve into the next phase, the next iteration of our life experience, it often requires simultaneously some release of the old. We can't hold on and cling to the past or cling to expectations and old stories and expect to match the resonance of that which we want to move toward or free ourselves into becoming or being or experiencing. So it's important to recognize where there is opportunity for transformation, release, healing, and how that supports the way forward. It's very important to acknowledge that in this realm of duality, I mean, we're dancing with light and shadow, and not to negate either, but rather to look at how we are in acceptance and relationship of both so that we can create harmony within our innermost self and then by extension create more harmony in our lived experience. So this energy, there may be some confusion, and that's more because of the opposition between Venus and Neptune, especially as it relates to relationship energy. But again, if that happens, if you experience that, acknowledge the opportunity then to clarify, acknowledge the opportunity to have a more intentional, clear exchange of communication. And this isn't just romantic, it's any kind of relationship or connection in our lives. Anytime we rub against something, have this alert to yourself to say, what is this presenting as an opportunity? How can I best handle this to learn, to create resolution, to whatever it may be? But it doesn't really serve us to only see something as problematic without consideration of how it could be resolved. A solution could be found. It could be a growth opportunity. It could be bringing something that's been in our blind spot into our awareness. So there's a lot of potential that we can allow ourselves to uh, hone in on. Then on August 11th, we have Mercury in opposition with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And we also have Mercury in a trine with Neptune. So this again could still add to that energy of some confusion, but adding to it the potential for some power struggle. But the bigger opportunity here is that realization of how our minds, our consciousness may be invited to transform in some way, some realization, some discomfort, something that we bump against that again gives us an opportunity to not cling to what we think we know, but rather have more of an expanded view that might help us transform and heal even some energies around how we've been perceiving or carrying things for some time. It's a great opportunity to really process emotion in a very deep way and have some consideration of our relationship to our boundaries. And also, you may notice a influx of intuitive resonance, intuitive insight. For some people it comes through by way of dreams. For other people, you just start to really be aware of like, it feels like I know things, or I'm seeing things, or I sense things. And those are traits that we can develop and refine and get more comfortable with if you're not already. But whether you are or you aren't, you may feel that heightened in this energy. All of that is leading us up to the new moon in Leo on August 12th. And this is eclipse season, which you can get more detail about from Aaron, the potency of eclipse season. But there's a new moon. It is a total solar eclipse. And this can initiate like any kind of goals or, you know, things we thought we were pouring into or moving towards. There could be something revealed, or there could be an unexpected shift or a change in the development of that, or how we thought things were going. Maybe there's something that comes in that brings about a new revelation, a new insight, and interruption. But again, instead of looking at it as something is wrong, it's really good to recognize where's the opportunity. And it could also be that there could be like goals or something you've been working on that you've been losing confidence around. And then a shift occurs, something comes into your awareness, something is revealed that gives you actually the confidence and reassurance or clarity that was needed to move ahead in a way that you may not have been expecting. So I just say, just be open and observant and aware of all possibility and potential of your experience in this kind of energy, and being firm and flexible, not being too married or rigid about what we think things are supposed to be, not be, and all of these things that often causes our suffering when things don't go as we were so tightly married to, when instead we can have some clarity about what we would like to experience and still have the wisdom to be flexible, to bend and move and negotiate and change as necessary to support the development, the unfolding, the birthing of whatever the experience may be. So, with it being a new moon, though, a lot of people think about planting new seeds of intention. Some astrologers say don't do that necessarily, or it's you don't have to be so rigid about intention during eclipses, but this energy, because it is in Leo, this is a time to at least be very reflective about your confidence, your love life, what it is you're passionate about. Again, the energy around your comfort of being seen, and not just seen in general, but maybe there are certain areas in your life where you are comfortable being seen. Maybe there are areas where you're still hiding. So, really having some conversation and relationship with yourself about that, and seeing how Leo can inspire you to change some of those perspectives, or at least be open to initiating movement around it, daring yourself, having the audacity to give yourself the evidence that you can be seen and it be safe. And maybe it's better than you would have imagined. And it's all part of our refinement, right? So, this energy also, again, with Leo, is about our creativity and our relationship to that. But eclipse season tends to open and or close doors. So again, don't get too tied. There may be some type of energy of unexpected change or unexpected illumination, but it could be something that falls in your favor, that you would perceive as in your favor, or it could also be something that is providing an opportunity to make some corrections, go another way, do things differently, but also that would be for your benefit. So keep that in mind. This energy is also meant to accelerate our growth, and it can be very quick movement. Then on August 22nd, 8:22, we have the sun moving into Virgo, as I mentioned before. So, where Leo at the beginning of the month was asking us to stand more boldly in the illumination of who and what we are and how we're discovering ourselves, knowing ourselves through our creativity and our passions and all of these beautiful energies, then the sun is going to move to Virgo to give us an invitation to refine a bit, to temper those flames, and just be more aware of what is working and what isn't, what is going to be useful or not moving forward. Where may we need to create more plan or structure around the goals, the ideas, the passions that we're dancing with? And Virgo, again, will invite us to come more into coherence with our personal health and our day to day, these sorts of things. Then on August 28th, we have the full moon in Pisces. And again, it's still eclipse season, so it'll be a partial lunar eclipse. And, with that Piscean energy, there's already the dance between the veils, kind of, you know, um, the I want to say the softening of our attachments and uh, familiarity with just what is tangible, what is perceivable through the physical senses, and instead allows us to kind of melt into, dissolve into, lose some sense of boundary so that we can perceive other aspects of ourselves, our lives, and our experiences. And full moons often bring things to light, things come to full circle. I always say during a full moon, you can go back to the new moon, when the moon was new in that sign. And so the new moon is when the sun and the moon are in the same sign. So that would have been Pisces season this year. So the new moon in Pisces would have either been at the end of February or at the beginning of March. But if you consider what your plans were, what you were focused on, what you were trying to cultivate or direct energy to around that time, now look at where you are in the process of that, or how you are in relationship to that, and what may be illuminating to bring you into a different type of relationship with whatever that may be. But again, I'm being kind of not too detailed on these energies because I really do encourage you, if you're someone who is like an astrology fanatic, to go check out Awakening Airwaves. So, that is all I wanted to share with you about the energy of August. Again, it is the start of our conference season. There are so many beautiful contributors. I mean, just think of all the people behind the scenes that put all of these events together for the sake of our community so that more people have access to certain teachers and trainings and practices that they may not have access to so easily locally or otherwise. So it really is a gift of, just such grace and kindness when people put these things together and people agree to show up as teachers, contributors, or whatever it is that they are um, being a part of. But not only is it an offering to the community, you all give such a big wave of, you know, resonance of just gratitude back by showing up. Anyone in this realm can tell you a lot does go on behind the scenes to put things together and all the things. And there is nothing better than actually being able to share and be in exchange. And for as much as you may be learning from the presenters, believe me, your contributions feed us just as well. And so it's beautiful. It's a reflection of how communal the Reiki community is at large. It For me, it amazes me of how much our community has grown and evolved since the time I first started practicing. Again, it's a great opportunity to get to meet people, see people on screen where probably you wouldn't have had the opportunity before. There's just so many reasons. Um, it's like my Aquarius is showing. I'm Aquarius sun and rising, but the community really does mean the world to me. I love it. I love how we learn and grow and exchange. It really, I'm so thankful for it. So I thank you for being here wherever you're watching this Energy of the Month update. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I thank you for showing up if you are coming to the events. I really hope you come to the Awakening Conference. We are so excited to share with you all again. I just deep bow of gratitude to all of you for your personal work, which reflects as your own contributions in your life in the world and to the collective at large. I always say, I remember at the beginning hearing this said, that this work isn't for the weak. And it's not. I mean, our souls really, have to kind of roll up our sleeves and dig in to really, really make the most of and sustain our practices on this journey. But it is so rewarding and rich. And I thank you so much for being here. I will see you very soon. Bye for now.